new Democratic Party with a winning way. We should be extremely proud of that, and I think it's reflective of the energy we see everywhere we go, and that really has been the story of this campaign. It has been now 6 months that I've been running for office, so I only have 16 more months. I know many of you guys have been asking about my soon-to-be baby girl. We were supposed to go into labor a couple days ago, but the doctor did not allow us to induce for many reasons. So it is actually happening Saturday. And if you're clapping, imagine how much my wife is clapping right now. But it has been amazing support out there from Democrats all over the state, and we are so happy. People can say a lot about us Democrats, but Republicans have been in charge now for close to 6 months. What have they done? Can you actually point to one legislative victory? Or anything, but that doesn't solve the problems. We're the problem solvers right now. Inflation is on its way down. This is the largest reindustrialization of a modern economy in the history of the world. We have chips that are coming back when an economy that we thought was never going to be coming back at all. Now, you can't even find spaces in most warehouses in Arizona because of all the chip companies that are moving here. We're finally bringing down the cost of pharmaceuticals. People especially our seniors, aren't going to have to be traveling to Mexico to pick up drugs that they should be able to afford. We are coming through with the largest energetic reinvigoration of our energy markets. The green movement that we've been talking about is all happening. It's all happening because Democrats were in charge for 2 years, right? We had the trifecta for 2 years.
That's right.
Now give us that again. Give us that again. And without Kirsten sitting there stopping with a filibuster, and we will turn this country into a beautiful country. Now, I do say, and we said earlier, this campaign is not about Kirsten. Number one, because you win with your ideas. You win because people like you, not because they dislike somebody else. And the reason we don't talk about Kirsten is because she actually has no chance of winning anyway. Every poll has her in 13-14%, and that's her high watermark. Our goal is to beat Carrie Lake. She'll be announcing in, we think, early September. And our campaign is going to be about beating her. We're going to beat her not in the dirty ways that she wants. She wants to talk about everything except for what Arizona needs. She wants to talk about 2020. We're going to be talking about 2024, 2028, and beyond. She wants to talk about elections of the past. We want to talk about where we're going in the future. She wants to talk about hating each other, being afraid of immigrants, being afraid of our LGBT family, our trans friends and family. We're going to talk about what we're going to do to make this state more welcoming and accepting in general. And that's how Democrats win. That's how we're going to win in this state. We win when we talk about the future and about solutions. We lose when we allow them to only talk about division. So let's not get wrapped up into just fighting on their terms. Let's not get wrapped up in trying to spite cinema by winning this. The best revenge in life. I've been taught this my whole life, and trust me, I'm from a Colombian background. Colombians, we are extremely vengeful and extremely spiteful. But what I was been taught from my whole Colombian family, the best revenge is to live well and succeed. So let's do that. And there's no way we do that without Pima County. We always pride ourselves in Maricopa County. We put out the most votes, everything else like that. But there is no place we get more votes, more Democratic votes, and with the biggest margins possible without Pima County. So this is not going to be the great state of Maricopa County-centric campaign. This is a campaign that's going to be focused on getting votes from everywhere, but Pima County especially. But we've been to Graham County, Mojave County, Madras County, Yuma County. We've made it up to Apache County, Coconino County. We've gone to as many Native American reservations as we can, and we're going to hit all 22 of the federally recognized tribes in this state for the first time ever in the campaign. When we win on Election Day, it's going to be the state of Arizona's win. It's not going to be the greater state of Maricopa. It's not going to be just Pima County. It's all Arizonans that got together and won this. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being involved politically as early as this in election season. But 2022 was a great year. Defied history. 2024, we cement it. And we're going to do it with all your help. So Nancy Pelosi is supporting me in this election, and I'm very proud of the work that we've done together for the last 8 years. And we've had our downs and our ups. We've always been respectful to each other. And when this election started, one of the first people I spoke to was her. And not to ask for an endorsement, but to ask for advice. She has just a wealth of experience, and she has seen elections come and go. She has seen leaders come and go. She's seen senators come and go, governors, world leaders. And so when you have someone like that have that type of inventory of experience, you have to talk to them. She was spot on from day one. She said, don't listen to people right now because they're going to tell you not to run. They're going to tell you that there's no chance that you're going to be able to win this. Just start running and you'll see it happen. And thank God I listened to her. She has been a great advisor since then. She actually donated to me right as soon as I announced. Clearly, all the German-based companies still make drugs, even though they have to compete or they have to negotiate their pricing. We do it right now in the military. Who uses VA prescriptions here? I do, for example, right? So the VA negotiates with drug companies to make sure they keep the prices of drugs low because they don't want the cost to soar and then you can't get services to veterans. That means for any veteran, whether you're a young veteran like myself or an older veteran. Again, I'm young still. 43 is young, right? Yeah.
43.
Okay, for the Senate, I'm young. But the three biggest buyers of prescription drugs are Medicare, the VA, and the military. And so everyone that will benefit from this has private plans or has no plans, because we would be able to go and get to the market and buy a prescription drug that is properly priced. Its price would not increase above inflation every year. If it did, then they'd have to pay a penalty. The penalty would actually go back to the Medicare fund, which helps with the solvency of Medicare. But the idea is very simple. We should be doing the best we can to bring prescription drugs down to the everyday person, no matter whether you're on a private plan, public plan, no plan. It's something that every country does already. And it's part of how is this fair to pharmaceuticals. We give pharmaceuticals, number one, a lot of rights in terms of their R&D for them to actually have a monopoly over what they're doing. We protect them in terms of their IP across the country. At a minimum, they should be doing is not gouging our citizens. And it's something that is heavily supported by our labor unions, and I'm very excited about it because it saves them money too. Our labor unions spend a lot of time negotiating these very generous plans, but some of those plans are basically eaten up by high costs of prescriptions. So we could bring these costs down. Maybe they could have more generous CADAC plans, or they could find more of that money going directly into higher pay.
What are your thoughts about how to keep Social Security and Medicare going?
So for Medicare, if we fully put competition when it comes to pricing on pharmaceuticals, we can extend the solvency of Medicare for another 20 years on top. I think we also have to really look at other measures that could cost money now, but will save money in the long run. For example, this isn't the case anymore, but for a while, if you needed an insulin pump, Medicare would not cover that. And why does that matter? People that don't regularly take their insulin will end up having higher medical costs later, whether it's amputations, other complications. And the pump that originally was being sold was expensive, but if you actually take it in the long run, it saves huge money. So we have to be looking at other ways to figure out how to actually save money in that in terms of medical investments. In terms of Social Security, number one, we have to raise the cap. But the problem is we have less people working now, and also we have less people making as high wages as they used to because we don't have a big middle class as we used to. We're getting that back now. But if we're not going to be able to grow that fast, we need to lift that cap. So I actually think what we should do is start it at 400,000 and above. Start it, 400,000 above, the cap. So what that means is that we're not going to raise the taxes on anybody, even upper middle class, but for the super rich, the 400,000 back. That will actually extend the solvency a long time. And bring in more immigrants. We need to have more workers to support people that are working now. And also, we want to talk about inflation. One of the reasons we have high inflation right now is because there's just not enough workers. I was actually yesterday talking to a couple businessmen. Nobody wants to work. We're like, well, you're paying $15 an hour. Like right now, $18 is the start. But if we have a shortage of workers and we have legal means for people to come here, we should use that to bring them. And they do help pay Social Security, and that'll help extend the solvency of Social Security. Right now, with the immigration reform that's not happening, and even the legal ways that we have of migration now, it's extremely hard to get here, extremely hard. This is why you see a lot of people coming here illegally, without permission, or overstaying visas, because there's not a legal pathway for people to get here. This time, we should excite somebody's heart in here, water. I will tell you, when I was out in not politically friendly people, but not politically friendly Pima County, Mojave County, and El Paz County, you know what they are interested in talking to Democrats about? Out there, those Republicans trust us more with water than they trust their fellow Republicans. And so I really encourage everyone to talk about water, talk about how Democrats know how to protect water. And we will get some of that rural vote back. We'll get some of that vote back. If we start winning back like 5% of those rural communities, that's a big shift statewide. So I really recommend, especially if you're out there talking or if you're going to run for office, talk about water. That is their kryptonite. That's a Republican kryptonite. So we're going to be talking a lot about that. So thank you so much. I'll see some of you guys later.